We're back. It's the player power rankings. I'm Tim and this is Egg Chasers, and this is where I go position by position, ranking the top 10 players on Earth. And I've done this a couple of times now. The last time was back in the summer, well, my summer, depending on if you're in the Northern Hemisphere or not. And it was just before the World Cup warm-up games. I ranked the top 10 players in every position. I'm going to go back round it again. And as ever, I want your comments, so get stuck in, because lots to discuss. Going to start today with Loose Head Prop. If I haven't already, maybe this will be the video I will earn your subscription. And a good reason to make sure you subscribe is the fact you don't miss any of these videos coming in the days ahead. And yeah, give the video a little thumbs up. That really helps spread the word, because it's just me on Egg Chasers trying to reach as many rugby fans as possible. So Loose Head Prop then. 10 to 1 is where I'm going to go. And at number 10, Raider Wardy. That's down one spot for Wardy from the last time I did this. A two-time Champions Cup winner with La Rochelle, and has transferred that form into the international arena as the backup to Cyril Bai. And he was needed during the World Cup with the unavailability for some of that World Cup for Cyril Bai. There is a drop-off from him, from Bai to Wardy, but he's an absolute bull of a man, and he does the basics really well for La Rochelle and when he's wearing bleu. So number 10, Raider Wardy. At 9, a new entry to the top 10, Tamaiti Williams. An absolutely massive man, first and foremost. 6'5" is he? 140 odd kegs. And yeah, only 23 years young. He's been looking great for the Crusaders. I was possibly expecting a little more from him through the World Cup. He wasn't selected at some points, and I kind of thought, oh, maybe he's not quite at the level I thought he was. But then, for the big games at the business end of the Rugby World Cup, he was there. And not only was he there on the bench in the World Cup final, he helped keep the bomb squad at bay in a way that they didn't manage to, England didn't manage to, and France didn't manage to. New Zealand, including Tamaiti Williams, did. He has got a big, big future. And he was, like I say, he was with Canterbury, with the Crusaders there, Scott Robertson. He'll be so excited to be able to work with him on the international stage as well. One to definitely watch out for. The number next to him now, number 9, could well be getting lower and lower in the years ahead, I would suggest. At number 8, down one spot for Pierre Schuman, the first South African born and bred player. Obviously plying his trade for Scotland, but the first on the top 10. Will it be the last? We'll wait and see. He's been a Scotland international since 2021, 29 years of age, so coming into his prime years for a prop, and he's so important to this Scottish team. People obviously talk about Finn Russell and Blair Kinghorn in the back line, and you know, some of the players in the pack. I think in the pack there is nobody more important to Scotland than Pierre Schuman. He is a excellent prop all round, and quite often he goes and does a job for a good 70-75 minutes in a game. They had a disappointing World Cup. I thought he was really good. He's at number 8. Pipping him, changing spots, because Thomas Gallow is up one spot. This kid, I absolutely love him. I've got a great stat to share about Thomas Gallow in a minute, but he's only 24, but look at him, he looks about 14. You know, like when you realise you're getting older, when like policemen look young. I'm looking at that, I'm going, loose head props don't look like they used to. He's such an exciting prospect. I think you want to see a little bit more of those traditional Argentinian set-piece basics. And that goes for all of Argentina's props. Thomas Gallow, though, what he does with the ball is exceptional. Here's a stat for you. Promise you a good stat. He has beaten more defenders at the 2023 Rugby World Cup than any front row player has ever beaten at any World Cup ever. So what was that, the 10th World Cup, was it? And no front row player, so that includes some of those dynamite hookers that are all action and get their hands on the ball loads. No front row player, hookers included, has beaten more defenders than Thomas Gallow did. In 6 matches at the World Cup, he beat 25 defenders. He is such an exciting player, and it's the similar attacking prowess, which is why I'm so excited about the next few years for the number 6 for Australia, Angus Bell. He's in exactly the same spot that he was in the last time, the top 10. He can't quite break into the top 5, but I would expect him to over the coming years in a dismal tournament for Australia. He was one of the few positives, and at the age of 23, he has got years ahead of him. 125 kegs, 6'3", a real athletic build. He looks like he could be an international number 8, but he does the basics at scrum time, and then he does so much around the park. He's almost played as many games for Australia as he has for the Waratahs in Australia. That's how trusted he is at such a young age for this Wallaby team. And yeah, if there's players that give you hope for Australia in what is a pretty bleak time for them, it is Angus Bell, who is rightfully at number 6 in my list. Well, I say rightfully. If you disagree, of course, with the top 10 composition of it, or any players I've missed out or put in the wrong position, tell me in the comments. That is what that is there for. Like I said, Angus Bell cannot break into the top 5. Ethan de Groot remains there, although he dips a spot. He was unavailable. He was unavailable for some of the World Cup, and New Zealand did miss him. He is clearly their number one. And with Tamaiti Williams backing him up, that's a pretty fearsome pair going forward, because Ethan de Groot is also very young, just 25 years of age. That's one thing that really surprised me, is the youth in this position when you look across World Rugby. A big man who does a lot around the park. And as I mentioned in the Rugby World Cup final, against the most fearsome scrummaging team of all in South Africa, New Zealand were no mugs whatsoever. They have got a serious front row. Ethan de Groot is a big part of that. And he'll have a huge role to play in World Rugby in the years ahead. Number 4, down a spot for Andrew Porter. He said he took the World Cup pretty hard. He's a winner. He has been he was with Leinster. They've lost a few finals, and Ireland have obviously got that little knockout rugby hoodoo. I wonder, here's one thing to watch. So Andrew Porter, when I first saw him in 2016, he was coming through playing in the under-20 championships here in my home city of Manchester. So I went along, was working on it and watched it. And he stood out above almost all the players that were on show in that tournament. And he was there as a tight head prop. I wonder, with Tadhg Furlong getting a little older, whether Andrew Porter, and Ireland have got some good prospects coming through on the loose head side of the scrum. I wonder whether Andrew Porter may go back to tight head prop, and whether he may be even better there than he is as a loose head prop. And as a rugby player around the park, he's exceptional. Sometimes he gets done at scrum time, and that is why he's outside now of the top 3 in my top 10, into the top 3. And he was number 1 last time, and it feels like a criticism of Stephen Kitshoff. It's not at all. The Spicy Plum is a proper player, and at the age of 31, you think he's like prime age for a loose head prop. He's moved to Ulster. They're going to absolutely love him there, and so we'll be playing against all of his South African provinces in the URC, and he's got a big role to play for the Springboks. He's into the 80s in terms of caps right now, and you'd back him to get over the century mark. A 2-time World Cup winner, a proper all-rounder. He absolutely loves to scrummage. And Stephen Kitshoff, number 3. Number 2, Cyril Baille. He was number 2 last time as well. And even though it was a disappointing campaign for France, and even though he missed some of the games through injury, I keep him at number 2 and nudge him ahead of Stephen Kitshoff, because I think when we did see Cyril Baille, it just cemented the fact that he may have... he's got the scrummaging ability that you'd expect from a loose head prop. He's got the rugby brain and the hands of a fly half. Honestly, there was like a moisturising company that need to sign up Cyril Baille as their ambassador. He's got the softest hands in world rugby. I love this guy. 30 years of age, coming into his prime, at Toulouse, playing alongside Dupont and all those other superstars. Only 47 caps to his name. He's going to add plenty more to that in the years ahead. Meaning at number 1, have you worked out who it is yet? Number one, on the top of the pile, loose head prop, Oxen Chay. Isn't it remarkable? And you may disagree, and if you disagree, get stuck in the comments below, but isn't it remarkable that the number 1 is someone who doesn't even start for his country? That just shows the shift that South Africa have made tactically to how we view the bench in rugby and how we view the 80 minutes overall. But he was one of the MVPs of the entire tournament. In fact, I think it's safe to say South Africa do not get through to the semi-final or the final if it's not for Oxen Chay. The way he changed that quarter-final game against France, the way he changed the semi-final against England, game-changing. incredible, incredible player. I mean, look at the shape of him. He's born to scrummage. And I love the fact that straight off the bat, with the very first position, we've just cemented the fact that you can have all the skills that you want, but if you're a prop, your first and primary and main job is to be absolutely dominant at scrum time. And there is nobody more dominant right now in World Rugby as a scrummager than Ox and Chay. Well done. You are the number one. So just to have a look at what that means for the top 10 then, if I jump myself out of the way, there is the top 10. And you can see the changes of position from the last time. Wardy, Schuman, De Groot, Porter, Kitshoff all dropping down spots. Gallow to Mighty Williams and Ox and Chay jumping up. Angus Belt and Cyril by the same. Tell me what you think about that. Tell me if you agree, disagree. Let me know. And yeah, get stuck in the comments. That is what that is there for. I'm Tim. This is Egg Chasers. Give the video a thumbs up to help spread the word. Hit subscribe in the channel. And hooker will be the next position. They'll all be coming very, very soon. So you can get ahead and tell me what you think on those as well before I've even done them. See you on the next one.